Nation, happy 10th of February 2025. It is time for another delightful RudeNation inspired episode of the RudeBoyz Top 10. I'm Sherm.
I'm Tom.
And this episode, because love is in the air, Tommy, Valentine's Day is right around the corner.
And tag teams.
And tag teaming?
Whoa, no,
I'm talking about wrestling. I'm talking about tag teaming and wrestling.
Oh, okay.
Yes. But also not like those other videos. I'm talking about like what you watch on regular ass cable television.
On the cock.
On the cock, yes. Tag teaming on the
peacock.
cock. The peacock, yes.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Sorry, I'm just looking at the timer. I'm just remembering.
Yeah, it was very fun. That was a very funny bit you did last time, the Rudy's episode. But this is the RudeBoyz Top 10. We went to the RudeNation on our Discord, bit.ly/RudeBoyz Discord, all lowercase. Join that. Come up into the conversation with us to come up with ideas, because these are ours, yours, everybody's favorite WWE Tag Teams. And we're doing something a little special, Tommy.
It's a little special.
Because we could not contain this to 10 little guys.
Correct.
Or 20 little guys.
Yeah, so we have expanded this to 40 little guys. So this is on a very special RudeBoyz Top 10.
Love is in the air.
This is your top 20 WWE Tag Teams.
Ooh, baby. In no
Once
particular
again,
order.
No particular order. Edge and Christian.
I've heard of them.
Very
Cope and Cage, baby. The old Cope and Cage action. The old fit dads. Because they do, they're big on planking.
Yeah, but you know what? They're what, 50, and they're in better shape than either of us will ever be.
Dude, yeah.
Mark Henry's a fat fuck, and he's in better shape than us.
Yeah, because he's all muscle. How do you think he gets his pecs all the way around to his back like that?
And sweats a lot.
Well, he does.
Anyway,
I sweat a lot.
Edge and Christian, definitely up there as like
multi-time
tag team. Yeah. Always entertaining to watch, especially when they're like the shit they were doing with the kazoos and 5-second poses.
Oh, yeah. This was like the peak Attitude Era tag team renaissance.
Their shit with Kurt Angle was really good.
Oh yeah.
Of course, their matches with the Hardys and the Dudleys.
Of course, yes.
Speaking of,
let's get them. Let's get these.
Yeah.
Let's get all these boys out of the way.
Next
got
up,
the RudeBoyz.
Yeah.
You got
the Dudley Boys.
Now
Now you want to talk about multi? These guys at one point held every title in every company that they were in. Like,
well, I mean, yeah, they held every year.
Like, New Japan champions,
TNA champions,
Pro Japan champions,
right.
Like
wherever they were. Yep,
wherever they were, they held it. Multiple ECW champions.
Of course, yep. They did win the WCW tag team when the Invasion angle happened.
Yes, they did.
I think they were the last WCW tag team champs.
They unified that with, I believe, when they beat our next one, the Hardy Boys.
Yes.
In a cage match, because Jeff just couldn't help himself not jumping from a cage.
I think the Hardy Boys right now are, just champions. To do a quick little scanneroo of this, as far as these are the longest tenured tag team that is still being a tag team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's only a couple tag teams on this list that are still operating together.
Right.
But the Hardy Boys have been, they've had single runs, don't get me wrong, but they're amazing as a tag team, you know what I mean? They both work so well together. They're brothers, obviously, but, they work so well together, they complement each other, Matt's got more of the, Jeff's the more rambunctious high flyer. And Matt's kind of like the more grounded guy. But, they all do their own flips and shit,
Next
Hardy
up
Boys.
is
Team Extreme.
Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody. The New Age Outlaws.
The dog in the ass.
Who
would have thought they really slapped these two guys together?
They did.
The Roadie and Rockabilly.
Yeah.
Like, they were like, bro, I don't know what to do. See, that was like the one good thing about WWF back in the time. I mean, there was a lot of good things about WWF at that time, but like they would be like, I don't want to give up on you. You know what I mean? Because like competition was fierce. They didn't want anybody to go to WCW.
Yep.
So like they were like, all right, let's try something different. You know. So they had Rhodey. I mean, they had Billy Gunn since the Smoking Guns forever.
Yep.
You know, and then they just kind of like, you know, move on into that. But New Age Outlaws.
Yeah, who would have thought that they would have turned... I mean, I think also hooking them up with DX was probably the best thing for them to do.
Even like the earlier pre-Triple H taking over DX.
Yeah. They were like...
feuding with...
They were like their hitman.
Pretty much,
shit, yeah.
They were like, well, these two guys kind of like, you know, overlap a little bit with them. Like, they're
degenerates.
Exactly, yes. That's when DX was like, they were just degenerates.
Yeah. Next up, speaking of two guys you would never think would work well together, the Rock and Sock connection.
Absolutely, yes.
Form of The Rock and Mankind.
Yep.
This was, like, never thought this would work.
This was your mega powers of the Attitude Era, I would think. Like, they put two of the most over guys, faces, together. For a little bit. They didn't have a huge, you know, long run because they all had their single careers involved.
Yep.
But they were very entertaining. They had the fabled highest rated Raw segment, the This Is Your Life,
and longest.
Rock and longest. Yeah, went way too long.
Yeah.
But great backstage banter between the two of them. They work well together. You know what I mean? You know, Rock's the straight man and Mankind's the fall guy. You know, goofball as he is. So
very, very entertaining to watch. Next up is a tag team that was made to kind of like battle, I guess, the Road Warriors.
Oh, correct. They were like, you want your Road Warriors? We have Road Warriors at home.
Yeah, but still very good. Demolition.
Yeah.
I like Demolition.
Yep.
I mean, yes, came down in the gimp outfits.
Sure.
What I
got at the Road Warriors came down in gimp outfits too.
No, they didn't.
They kind of did.
No, they didn't. They came down in spiked shoulder pants.
I'm talking about early Road Warriors, like Leather Daddy Road Warriors. They're called the Road Warriors. Like I
always remember them having the shoulder pads, even in WCW.
Early. I'm talking about like AWA or whatever.
I'll have to see a picture.
You got to see some old ass.
I'll have to see some old ass pictures.
Demolition. Axe, smash, crush, crunch, punch, munch.
And the best thing about Demolition,
Jax,
Mr. Fuji.
Packs,
Mr. Fuji was the best part of
Mr. Fuji, Mrs. Fuji, little Fuji Jr.
Yeah.
The whole gang.
Stop.
The whole Demolition crew.
I hate you. I did enjoy them when it was just Axe and Smash.
Did you say you hate me?
Yeah.
Axe and Smash, yes. Correct. Also known as Well, one guy becomes the Repo Man, right? One of the guys becomes Repo Man.
Oh, I think so, yeah.
The other guy, I think, left. It was a SummerSlam. It's like a meme because that guy's last match, he, like, quaffs his hair because he's trying to say fuck you to McMahon or something like that. You know, like, I don't know. And, like, there's, like, a meme where someone, like, put out like, a fan sign saying, like, why was Axe's hair so good in SummerSlam or whatever? That's why I don't
remember that.
You can that's how much I know about the fucking Demolition. They were the longest running WWE Tag Team for the longest time.
Yes. Until a team that it will be coming up.
Beaten by another team that will come up.
Yes. DIY. Current WWE champions.
Correct.
Having probably one of their best runs, I would say.
Someone put a picture of the WWE Tag Team titles up, and they were like, man, I really like the design of the NXT Tag Team Championship now. Because that's what they're doing. Mm-hmm. You know, we just had a 2 out of 3 falls match from the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Between another team and DIY.
Yep.
They're putting out some old school NXT black and gold tag team shenanigans. Back in that day, that was good.
Yeah, very good. Well, I mean, they were face, weren't they?
Yeah, they were, but I mean, they still operating the same way. You know what I mean? You skipped one before. Just I don't want to get called out on not counting correct.
No. I know.
Because we got people out there, fact checkers.
Yeah,
we love you, keeping us on our toes.
We're
doing better.
I'll rewind back. But yeah, DIY, man. I've been a fan of both of these guys since I first saw them in NXT. Actually,
we saw Gargano.
Yep.
A Dragon Gate. He was a Dragon Gate champ or Evolve champ. One of those two.
I also saw. I've seen Ciampa at Ring of Honor. Too.
Okay.
So,
nice.
So I've seen both DIY.
Come a long way, my friend.
The one that I missed is Heart Foundation.
The Heart Foundation.
Now, when I say Heart Foundation, I'm not talking New Heart Foundation, where Owen Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart were wearing the poofy pants.
Yeah.
I'm talking Bret Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
Yeah, of course. The OG Heart Foundation.
Yeah,
yes.
like definitely has. They probably have like one of my favorite. Like the Heart Attack, I like.
That's the thing, man. A good tag team finisher.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like so. I mean, so far 3D. As far as the ones we've just listed right here, the 3D from the Dudley Boys, the Heart Attack that we're talking about right now.
Yes.
DIY has the
Meet in the Middle.
Meet in the Middle.
Yep.
Which sounds a little GAY for me, but whatever. DIY. You know, not that there's anything wrong with that.
Well, I mean, it's a tag team move.
It's a tag.
It's tag teaming move.
They are tag teaming.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of meat in the middle.
Edge and Christian didn't have one, right?
Yeah, they had the
not concerto.
Really. They probably should. They probably dabbled,
right?
But they never did.
Yeah.
You know? To me, that's what a tag team is.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? If a single guy hits their single finisher, and even like the Hardy Boys with like a Twist of Fate, but Swanton combo,
right? But they did have tag team combos like Whisper in the Wind.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. They would have those moves.
Yeah.
But I mean, those like the finisher.
Right.
That's what you're getting ready for. Obviously, there's going to be a big one coming up soon.
Yeah, Heart Foundation, awesome.
Yes.
Was very cool.
Yep.
I liked him.
Yeah.
And then when Bret Hart went on to his solo, I was like, okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's in the Jim floating around. Yeah.
All right, so we rewound, so we can't be accused of skipping.
Right.
Next up is the Steiners.
Another brother tag team.
I don't think they had a tag. Did they?
Were they tag champs?
Well, no. I mean,
a
finisher.
tag team finisher. I don't think so.
Because Scott would do the Frankensteiner.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, they had the Kleiner. That's pretty much it. You know?
I mean, they were in WWE for a good long time.
Oh yeah, like a few years. But obviously, because they came from WCW, then they went back to WCW, and then Scotty just did his own thing, pretty much, which is insane. Just realizing that's that same person, you know
right?
what I mean?
Like you watch the old Steiner brother shit, and then you're like, and then you watch like his TNA stuff, even his WCW stuff, and you're like, that's not the same guy.
I just saw something that it was the anniversary of when he called out Ric Flair in a fucking shoot interview, talking about his crooked yellow teeth, and now they should have gotten Buddy Rogers. Buddy Rogers is dead, and everybody should just change the channel to watch Stone Cold. Like, he's doing this on TNT.
Wow.
You know, Scotty's out of control.
Next up, currently feuding with DIY in WWE programming is Motor City Machine Guns.
Team I never would have expected to see in WWE.
These guys, I have been a fan of these guys since TNA. First time I ever saw them in TNA.
I like their energy. You know, they were very. I saw them when they were part of. I think even before they teamed up, like officially, they were with the Paparazzi Productions or whatever like that.
Okay.
And then they kind of just like they were like, "Oh, you go." They gravitated towards each other. But like I'm like, I like their
Productions.
It was Shelley, Sabin, Kevin Nash, and I think like Sanjay Dutt or something like that. They were just a group of goofballs. Yeah.
Interesting.
This might have been like a proto Motor City Machine Guns. But
Interesting.
Then when they started cooking, I was like, oh man, I dig what I dig them. You know,
I dig what they're putting down.
I put up what they're digging up. Yep.
They have, I think their finisher is called Skull and Crossbones.
Something like that. Yeah, I'm still not. I don't know if that's like what they've been doing or if they're just doing that now.
I think that's what they're doing now.
Oh, okay, cool.
Next up, guys who I think hold the longest.
Yes, correct.
The Usos. These guys, these young gentlemen have. I see big things for each of them. I see one winning the Royal Rumble.
Right. Okay. Yeah, you do. That's pretty good. Whoa.
I know.
Your crystal ball is a little.
Yeah.
You think that's in the past?
I see one getting banned from going to Canada.
Right. Okay.
Actually, I think they both banned from Canada.
I thought that cleared up, right? Because weren't they in?
Yeah, I'm sure Triple H kind of just paid some people.
Yeah. I think it's like only a year ban or something like that. Work visas or something.
No, but the Usos, sons of Rikishi.
Yep. Cousins of Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Oh, no, cousins. Yeah.
Yeah, cousins of Roman Reigns. Brothers of Solo.
Yes, correct. Okay.
I love you, Solo.
Yeah, bloodline, brother.
Yeah, major part of the bloodline.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, they came in with Tamina.
Correct. They came in with Tamina. They
Tyson
were doing
Kidd.
Well, yeah, around the same time.
No,
yeah.
I thought they all debuted together.
No, because
as like a group, as like a legacy group.
No, Tyson and David Hart Smith.
Right.
Came up earlier.
Right.
Won the undisputed titles at the time.
Right.
And then that's when the Usos debuted, which apparently that's like Jacob Fatu in prison. This is a story he tells. He was in prison on TV, watched the Usos debut, and that was what basically was like, you know what? All right, I think I'm gonna
get my shit
together and do this wrestling thing. You know,
good for him.
Those are my cousins. You know,
good for
They're
him.
all cousins. But
they're all related in one way or another.
Yeah, when they debuted, they were very, the tribal Samoan sort of stuff, but like kind of like cool street, style. And then when they evolved into like that whole day one stuff.
I mean,
like,
their feud with New Day was great.
Oh yeah, I think that's definitely pivotal in both of their careers.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, in all their careers.
Correct.
Next up is
I don't see them on the list.
Who?
New Day. Oh, no, they are. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. Spoiler alert. Continue. Next on the list.
LOD. Tell him, Hawk. Whale. LOD, I always like. I think the first time I ever saw the Doomsday Device.
A classic tag team maneuver.
Yeah, because I sat down.
I
was like, Doomsday Device is really cool. Fucking nothing will ever beat that, and then fucking the Dudley Boys came.
The 3D.
The 3D is. I mean, and then you have the Usos who do the 1D.
Yeah, of course. I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
Because what I think they hit the. I think they use one knee.
It's kind of the same
thing. It is, but like they drop.
It's an homage. It's supposed to be since day one.
It's like they do like a code breaker as well.
Ones, yeah.
That's
it's
what I mean.
very similar.
Yeah. The 1D is really cool.
Yeah, but the Legion of Doom, I don't think the Legion of Doom, if you want to, I don't think the Legion of Doom, this might sound like a hot take, is a very memorable WWE tag team. I think they are a more memorable WCW, NWA wrestling tag team.
Okay.
I don't think they got as much of a fair shake in WWE, because they definitely got, I don't think they got treated with the respect. You know what I'm saying? Like, clearly, because look how that whole saga ended, basically.
Right.
I think they weren't... Same thing like with Vader. You know what I mean? Like, Vader did not get a fair shake in WWE. Was treated like an absolute monster in Japan, in WCW, came over, got messed up in the politics, and then just was like...
No.
And then just jobbed out, Like, just, oh, you're a big dude, you're going to get jobbed out.
He never held the world title?
No, he did not.
No?
I don't think he held a title. Maybe the tag, but with
I think when
IRS
he was part of the
or with the
Un-Americans,
with the DiBiase, Money Inc.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. Or Cornette, Cam Cornette. I don't fucking know. No way to know.
Oh, Cam Cornette.
Anything Cornette.
Anything.
But you love LOD. I know that.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Paul Ellering.
Yep.
Just was released.
Slappy, whatever the fucking
puppet's
name
doll,
was.
Yeah.
See, what a fair shake they got. WWE.
Next up, again another team that was in WCW, but they made their name in WCW.
Yes,
they were pivotal for one other team's career, the Brainbusters, and Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, fuck his daughter.
Yeah, she's
Trash Monkey. Really like them. The Brain Buster.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, always love that fucking like.
They were a hard-hitting
Absolutely.
tag team in the land of circus.
I don't think
in WWF at the time. Like with some other names we're going to mention.
Yeah.
Like they were the ass kickers. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I think they were with Heenan, right?
Yeah, of course.
With Heenan, yeah.
The
Obviously, one
they're
half
part of the Heenan family
of the Four Horsemen. You know these two gentlemen.
Two of the originals.
Yep.
I think they came over when Flair came over.
No, I don't think so. I think they left first.
Before Flair came?
I think so.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think so.
I thought they were there together.
Huh. That would have been pretty cool to have a little. That would have been like, hey, all right,
little reunion.
Yep. Yeah.
Now this next tag team is. They're very much tied to the Rockers. They had a long feud with the Rockers.
Did they now? Okay, I didn't know about this.
Because it was two different styles.
Oh, sure.
Because you had the Rockers who were the high flyers.
There you go. The Rockers were generational in that regard.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And then Shawn Michaels just took it and ran.
Oh, yeah.
And Marty Jannetty was that coward trying to jump through the barbershop window.
Yeah. Never the same again.
Jesus Christ.
Or maybe he always was the same.
We just didn't know.
We just didn't know.
Yeah.
And I wish we didn't know. But I guess it's good we know. Just to stay away from Marty Jannetty.
Yeah, especially
if you're related to her.
Especially if you're his stepdaughter.
Yeah. Yikes.
Because I think he married her.
Or did marital relations with.
Yeah. Next up is the Natural Disasters. Two big, beefy boys.
Sure.
Earthquake and Typhoon, formerly known as Tugboat.
Yep.
Which I think Typhoon was a much better character.
Well, I think that's funny. That's like, they can't take a man named Tugboat seriously.
Yeah, and how he was dressed.
Typhoon.
And how he was dressed, too. Yeah, I got my little red and white shirt, my little sailor hat. It's like fucking the G.I. Joe character Shipwreck. I could never take him seriously.
Yeah, no. But yeah, these guys feuded with the Mega Powers, right? I'd imagine, or they feuded with Hogan.
They definitely feuded with Hogan because Tugboat was Hogan's friend.
Right. Yeah.
And and Jimmy Hart was their manager.
Okay.
Next up is Brothers of Destruction.
Ooh, keep rolling.
These two guys are Undertaker and Kane.
Yes.
Staples.
Of course.
In WWE.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, everyone credits Hogan, like WWE being where it is, and honestly, I think without these two guys, the Attitude Era would not have been what it was.
The Attitude Era? Yeah. Sure. I'll give you that.
Honestly, I would say part of the Ruthless Aggression era.
They were staples. I always look at it this way. You have your faces of the company, and then you have your backs of the company. Yeah. You have your Hogan. For every Hogan, you have a Savage. For every Michaels, you have a Bret.
Every Austin, you have a Rock.
Yeah. Where you can rely on those people. Taker and Kane fall into that back role.
Right.
You know, and don't get me wrong, as iconic as Taker is, Taker was never the face.
Right.
You know, he was the WWE champ, he had the streak, he was a fixture. You know, but, it was always, Hogan, or let's try Warrior, or let's go with, let's give Macho a chance, or let's try Luger, or Bret, or Michaels, but Taker was there the entire time. And same thing with Kane, a couple chair shots to the head will turn you into a libertarian, apparently, but he was always my favorite wrestler growing up, because the first time I saw him, he shot a fireball, and I'm like, cool, wrestling is great. This is cool. And then finding the lore and the brothers thing, all right, cool, of course. Didn't happen enough in the early Attitude Era,
right? Because
they were feuding a lot. But in early Ruthless Aggression, with when Taker was the Biker Taker, that was.
I still wish we got Kane with the cape.
I never want Kane with the cape. You have an action. There's action figures of Kane with the cape, because they know that's for the marks.
Yeah,
for the Smarks, brother. Excuse me.
next up, as Chris spoiled it, New Day. New Day sucks.
New Day sucks apparently now.
Yeah. Even according to their family members.
Very interesting. I like how they're really embracing this heel turn. But yes, New Day.
How Xavier Woods has the Majah Buu tattoo. I'm like, oh, and Kofi wears the Majah Buu necklace.
Listen, only the real fans know that they have turned evil.
Who's pulling the strings for them to be evil, though?
Brother.
New Day. Now, you could say, they had the Freebird rule when they had the titles.
That's another thing, too, yeah.
So, like, you would
get... It was
a
trio that would...
Yeah, you would get the combo of Big E and Xavier. Xavier and Kofi and Big E.
Yep.
Always entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
I had
a rotating finisher.
Yeah.
Depending on which team members.
Yeah, like Midnight Eclipse.
Yeah, the Midnight Hour.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think Midnight Eclipse was one of them, too.
But
they were all kind of like the same thing.
Yeah.
But, like, cool. I like that.
Yeah.
That's for the dork fans out there. For me. That's for me.
Yeah. I did like, they did try to make them heel.
They first started...
Once, but they got so cheered.
Well, they originally were heels.
Right.
They were, like, preachy positivity guys.
But they still got over, though.
Oh, yeah, because of their antics. Because their relationship is just very infectious, And I think the thing that did it, and I remember this, it's not the turning point, but I remember me being on board with them, and you never really see this very often, because, thank God, or else it'll be overblown. It was like a Texas Tornado 4-corner tag match or whatever the fuck, It was like, there was 4 teams, and each member can tag in whomever, you know what I mean? So, at one point, it was Kofi and Xavier in the ring together, and everyone was like, oh, no, they're going to fight. They're going to fight. The Outlaws did this back in the day also.
Right.
So, Kofi goes to just pin Xavier.
Right.
Just to get out of the match so they win. And then everybody's like, oh, shit, no. Like, that is great.
Yeah.
That was the first time I've seen that.
Yeah.
I love that shit. And that's what was like, okay, I get this New Day thing now,
Them, for me, it was when they were hosting WrestleMania and they came out as, like, Dragon Ball Z characters, Final Fantasy characters.
Yeah, they were enjoying themselves. They have great gear.
But them
very toyetic.
Them turning on Big E
recently,
now, probably the smartest thing that they could have done.
I agree.
Otherwise, they would have just kept getting cheered and being stale.
Yeah. Correct.
Next up is DX. Shawn Michaels and Triple H.
So the original incarnation of DX.
Yeah, and then later down
and then the last incarnation of DX.
Right, exactly. I actually really enjoyed, what was it? DX leading up to Michael's retirement.
Up to his retirement.
Yeah, like how he was like kicking little kids.
That I see.
He was randomly kicking people, and honestly, and like the whole the
DX army sort of thing.
Okay, so maybe prior to that, the whole Triple H, just doing horrible thing, like a lot of the Diva segments and all that.
That's funny because
the comedy stuff.
I didn't like that one because only because I just got over seeing them having these matches, world title match, blah 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 blah, and then I'm like, what the fuck? What are you doing?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. At least when they formed again, 2 years later or something like that, everything. Was like,
that was
this is like their
Swan song.
Victory lap, basically. Yeah, they're like, we're here to sell merch. I don't give a shit. Yeah. I'm gonna sell these glow sticks. Cool. Whatever. Jersey.
We saw them on that tour.
We did, yes.
Yeah.
At that,
apparently the Ninja Turtles as well.
We
fucking missed, or they were on the other side of the arena.
But they have a combo finish when Shawn hits the sweet chin music, and then the guy falls into a pedigree.
Oh, I thought it was vice versa.
What do you think they do? Pedigree, and he bounces up into a sweet chin music?
With the way some people sell shit, you never know, okay?
Yeah, when they're fighting the Spirit Squad, maybe.
Or The Rock.
Well, I mean, they never fought The Rock.
No, I know, but like The Rock would oversell shit.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, DX, they did hold the titles.
Yes, they did in the world, the retirement tour.
Yes. Next,
and then they never wrestled again, especially in Saudi Arabia. Same thing with Brothers of Destruction. Never wrestled.
Correct. Again. Next up is The Shield. Particular Roman and Rollins.
Well, yeah, that was the
because I did have Ambrose and Rollins, but I was like, wait, no, Roman and Rollins held the title.
Correct.
Ambrose held the U.S. title.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
But I mean, there were combinations where Rollins and Ambrose were tag champs, and I don't think Ambrose or Reigns, but you know, like they would.
Right. Rollins was always in the mix.
Yes, correct.
I mean, this just goes without saying. I mean, the Shield is, besides DX, is probably my favorite faction.
Oh, we did a whole episode, 159.
Yes, we did.
I like their vests.
Yes, you like their vests.
I like their vests.
So would love to see a reunion, but Ambrose is so fucking brainwashed.
You never know. Hey, man, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
It's like, Ambrose, come on.
Never say never
in the
wild world of wrestling.
Things are okay over here. You'll actually be wrestling in front of more than 3 people.
Yeah, when they induct the Shield.
Yeah.
He'll be there.
And last but certainly not least, Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio. This was a toss-up between Eddie Guerrero and Chavo.
Mm.
But I was like...
Fuck Chavo.
Huh?
Fuck Chavo.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sorry,
always been a big...
We know you listen. Sorry, Chavo.
Always been a big fan of Eddie and Ray.
That's a good combo. I like them.
Yeah, they too. I think like Ray would do the 619, then the leg drop, and then Eddie would do the
frog splash.
Do the frog splash.
It's like whole combo finishers.
Yeah.
What I get.
Combo.
Combo breaker. Another tag team that feuded between itself at points.
Yes, they did.
You know.
But yeah, that is your top 20.
Top 20. Top 20 teams of 2025 February. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
This has been a presentation of the RudeBoyz Podcast Network.
Oops.